Hi, welcome to another episode of Spyt-Takes. I am your host, Jens Anderson, aka Spytle.
And I'm Ellen Anderson.
Welcome to the show. We are here to talk about the most recent episode of one of our favorite series, Gotham, and it's called The Blind Fortune Teller. And there is an appropriately blind fortune teller in this episode.
Yes, there is.
Ironically, played by Paul Margolis, right? Who we just saw as Papa Smurf. No, I mean Gargamel. No, wait. No, Felix Faust. That's right. Felix Faust on an episode of Constantine.
They're so like all those. So.
Yeah, they must have a really set stable of actors that they like to go to when they need an old crotchety guy. Let's go. We need an old guy. Paul Margolis.
Who's that guy that looks like Gargamel?
Yeah, give that guy a job. So this was a cool episode. A lot of stuff going on here. It had a reveal or the apparent introduction of the Joker. Mm-hmm. We'll go over that. Also got to see some really cool teasers or kind of nods to Dick Grayson, Robin. And we saw blossoming love stories, hearts being broken, hearts opening up, terrible murder plots, long family feuds, and some crazy scary doodles, which we're going to talk about first. Bruce Wayne.
And some more fish.
Mooney. And Fish Mooney. Yes, the building of a family. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about Bruce first. Bruce, again, pretty brief storyline, brief amount of screen time, but very powerful. Yes. We've seen him recently be kind of vulnerable, weak, sentimental. Now we're seeing this almost just hard-ass side of this little kid.
Yep. He's kind of lacking emotion. He's got his business face on, and he's gonna. He's almost like some kind of corporate shark in this last episode.
He was definitely laying down the law. The thing that it opens up with is he's sleeping on a couch, and they show him his notebook, and he has all these dark scribblings, these doodles of like dragons with teeth and fire and all this kind of creepy stuff. It's the kind of thing that the kid always starts drawing in the movie where he's being visited by an evil ghost or a demonic force or is abducted by aliens who are not nice aliens like Cocoon, evil aliens, like what was that show?
Dark Skies.
Dark Skies, right? Mm-hmm. And they have these really dark doodles. Yeah, I kept waiting to hear like Bada Book or whatever, some kind of like kid coming out of the closet in Wayne Manor just to scare Bruce.
But kind of like a typical kid though, just doodling.
No, those were not typical.
Except
he's got
like several big pens. Yeah, and he's like,
I'm gonna draw the same dark circle 50 million times.
Dragon teeth.
Or maybe he gets his strong bat on, Oh, put the big beefy arm back here. Yes. Yes. So it was really creepy to see that. And he's investigating his parents' company and corruption in the company, and he wants to go to a board meeting. Arrives at the board meeting, lays down the law. I mean, really takes it to some of these who are corporate sharks, right? These people on the board. And he just brings them low. He doesn't take any of their bullshit.
Yeah, they look shocked.
Yeah. I mean, one of them even says, like, oh, it's a boy your age or something like that. And he says, my youth has nothing to do with this, except for the fact that if I were a man, I would be chairing this board and ensuring that this company was doing business honestly. And it was like smack right in the face of these people and just walked out. He dropped the mic, boom, it was out the door.
Enough said.
Yeah, enough said.
Take my notebook. Be on my way.
Don't make me draw a doodle of you. It's not going to go well.
You're going to be in the dragon's teeth.
I know. It'd be awesome, like, you see this show, like, 20 years later, Bruce is all grown up, he's Batman, and reminiscing about his youth and opening up all the notebooks with his freaking dark doodles in there. It would be creepy. Yeah. Creepy. Anyway, so Bruce and Alfred were in it briefly, but they made quite an impact. Another kind of small screen time character was Barbara Kean. She's kind of back. And she's a hot mess. And I mean that in the sense that she's a mess and she's kind of hot. She's a hot mess. As well as a hot mess, like the mess itself is really hot. The hot, like, forms many... I'm trying to get back at you for a Mel stuff here, and I'm just digging it doesn't work. A man can't do it.
Man can't do it.
Man can't do it. So she still seems like she's totally drunk all the time.
Yeah, she's always on some kind of substance, right?
Right? It seems like it.
She doesn't have it together.
No.
She's a hot mess.
She is a hot mess. And she comes home after being gone for so long, looks for Jim. Jim's not there. Oh, that's really nice. Why don't you just sit on Penny's head? That's a good plan. Jim's not there. And who is there, though? Selena and Ivy. You come home to your house, your really schwanky apartment, very expensive, in Gotham, and there's a street urchin and a gutter snipe hanging out on your couch eating peanut butter and cereal.
Yeah, and the first thing I would be thinking of, oh my god, they probably ate the best cereal in the house.
I would have been like...
The milk's probably gone.
What the F are you doing at my house? Get out. She was just like... Whatever.
She's like, this is so good.
Go make me a gin and tonic. You know, like...
Get me another Virginia Slim and a Fresca.
Give me a pack of Virginia Slims, a bottle of vodka, and some Fresca.
How about a Fresca? Oh.
You little gutter snipe. I'll give you $1 if you get it here in 2 minutes. It was pretty creepy. But anyway, and then these little girls, one of which has no idea about anything. Maybe Selena does, you could argue. But certainly Ivy doesn't. Are giving her, like tips on how to win Jim Gordon back and what kind of clothes to wear.
Advice.
Like fashion advice and stuff like that. I mean, they do get it, like, ridiculously wrong when she's like, you know, like you're going sailing or something.
It was better than what she was wearing, though, because she looked like she was going clubbing.
Yeah, she did. She did look like she was going clubbing.
Halfway between clubbing and in lingerie. I couldn't tell.
But this character I find to be really...
He's going
Jeez,
at it.
buddy. Oh my god, he's ripping his nose off.
I know.
Oh boy, this is going to be bad.
Here, let's do this.
Yeah, no nose ripping on camera, please.
There you go.
So I find this character really inconsistent. I'm really starting to wonder now that Leslie Tompkins is a major factor here, if they really need this character, Barbara. But of course, it's going to be his future wife. So it's really strange. I'm not sure how they're going to long-term fit her in right now. Or at least short-term fit her in. Because Jim Gordon has enough trouble dealing with one woman. Right? I mean,
he's not a skilled man.
No. He's like literally like... Can barely handle Barbara when he's with her. Can barely handle Leslie when he's with her. I can't imagine him bouncing. He's going to be a hot mess. Mm-hmm. Just as long as he doesn't take his shirt off. Okay, let's talk about another one. Fish Mooney. Let's talk about Fish Mooney. Very cool episode for Fish Mooney.
Yes. Very cool. I keep thinking she's like... remember those old movies in the 70s about the women's prisons? And there's always the really tough one that gets up and stands against it all. That's kind of her right now.
They're all wearing those like onesie smocks or whatever, right?
And she's just completely just taken over.
Yeah, she basically gives this rousing speech about family, and I love her quote. You know, if you do exactly what I say, I will get some of us out of here alive. You heard me right. I said because some of us are gonna die, right? And you definitely get this feeling from her of, now, not me, but some of you, right?
Oh, yeah.
So she has this place under, like, she's got it going on. Like, I know a dinner bell rings or water comes in, and she is overseeing everything. And one healthy, non-harvested prisoner helps a crippled, harvested prisoner get their water first. She's created a buddy system, right? The haves and have-nots.
Basically, everyone takes care of each other.
Yes.
And, she's definitely showing some great leadership skills.
Yeah, it's great leadership skills. She gives this rousing speech about family. And she confronts the guards when they first come in. First step in her plan. And she basically says, wait, before we give you, I will gladly give you this person. Which basically, really, whoever they call... She's like, yes, you can have this person and take their eyes or their a kidney or one of their lungs or whatever. But I want 50 blankets, such and such amount of water, this, that, and the other thing. She wants stuff. And, of course, they refuse. And then the poor guy they want gets beaten to death
Right.
She is willing to basically smash and destroy the product that they need in order to get her way. That was brutal.
It was brutal.
A brutal what?
It was brutal.
It
but,
was.
I mean, they have no other choice, really.
Yeah, well, that's all they have to bargain with.
Any of them want to live, so...
The only thing they have to bargain with is their lives. So this guy gets killed. And now, how does she reel it back in? Because if I was some of her followers right then, I'd be a little nervous about what that meant for me.
So I know that the guy that they had beaten to death, she goes over to that body and she pays respect to it by giving it a kiss on the forehead or the cheek.
Forehead.
And it was basically, this is respect. Like, you took one for the family.
Yep.
And, you know, that just showed her compassion and her respect for that person's life, but she doesn't really.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, I think she did show respect so that people who were still living and witnessing it would understand that they would be treated with respect.
Right.
It wasn't compassion, I don't think.
Well, it was faked.
Yeah, it was definitely, it was a staged and planned maneuver designed to put people at ease. It was mechanical for her, right? She knows how this is done. She's actually part of a family. She has a family, right? Which is the Falcone family.
Right.
So she knows how this is done. You pay proper respect to those who fall, so that those that are still around you will respect you for doing that. So you give and you receive. Cool stuff. She ends up getting what she wants. She's about to go see the manager. We'll see that episode next week.
I'm curious to see who the manager is.
She says it in the preview. It's some doctor, but we don't actually see who he is.
So I wonder if they're going to introduce a new character.
I think they will. Also, Bullock says something about, oh, great, another masked, freak. That's all we need, or masked criminal. Oh, that was for the Red Hood, though.
So I'm wondering who it's going to be, because it's someone who is profiting off of harvesting organs.
Yeah, black market organ sale,
market, which is
pretty cool. Pretty cool storyline. All right, let's see. Also, we have a storyline going on, speaking of Fish Mooney, with Penguin, who has taken over her club, renamed it to Oswald's. Now, this was great. They upped the Penguin factor in this episode with him, right? Every time we saw him, it was very quirky, weird, off-key music. People weren't playing right. Things were out of tune. Really weird music selections. Like his mom opens up the show performing, right, in his club. That was a freaky moment.
Yeah, and she's not a good performer.
No.
And, when she finishes, it's very quiet, which, the Penguin notices right away. He gets up, starts applauding, and
a few other
people are doing it because, they're thinking,
and then here,
we must.
I'll do it. Boo! Get off the stage! Boo!
And then Penguin gets really irate and goes off camera, and he stabs the guy.
Oh yeah, like breaks a bottle, like either on his head, or he either breaks the bottle on the guy, or he breaks it on the bar and stabs the guy. But basically, blood just spurts everywhere.
So we're thinking this guy is dead.
It's a ballsy move too. He does this in front of all these people,
which we really haven't seen this character do so far.
Yeah, the club is pretty much empty though. Next time we see the club, it's even emptier. He's like playing some music.
Chopsticks.
At one point, he's auditioning a flute player. Like, I mean, he's like, who wants to see a flute player? Like, unless you're Ron Burgundy playing jazz flute in these clubs, it's really weird. He's not pulling people in, right? No. Obviously, the club is failing. He's not being smart. The club is failing, and so Victor Zsasz shows up, scares the piss out of him for a minute there.
Zsasz hands.
Zsasz hands? Oh, that's good. It would be like Zsasz hands would be like. Cutters. So yeah, he comes in and he brings Butch along, and Penguin is really alarmed to see Butch.
Yeah, really and he should be. I was like, what is Butch doing there?
Yeah. And
then we find out that he's been pretty much brainwashed by Zsasz and his Zsasz hands.
Maybe that's what happened. Zsasz had him in the basement a few weeks doing Zsasz hands.
Zazzercise.
And he's like, I'll do anything you say. Stop the Zsasz hands.
So, Zsasz asks Penguin, hey, give him a try. And Penguin says, I want you to dance for me. And Butch starts doing this goofy dance, and then Penguin's like, "Yeah, this guy's gonna be my puppet."
I like the dance too. He could have like been like, but no, Butch was like, did a little jig or something like that.
Doing some vaudeville.
Yeah, it was funny. So Penguin's gonna be pairing up with Butch because Falcone feels like he's messing up. Numbers aren't good in the club, and Butch knows how to run the club.
Yep.
So we'll see where that goes. What happens if Mooney comes back, and where does Butch land at that point? How does that all work?
Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But cool stuff with Penguin, like where the character is going. And the last thing is going on, we'll talk about two things. But Gordon and Tompkins and Lee are having their relationship sort of go to the next level, but he's having trouble like kind of balancing the work and professional aspects of this. Yeah.
He wants her there, but at the same time he doesn't. And this is like on his cases. And I noticed that when they started their investigation. Actually, no, they were at the circus. Remember they had the date?
Yeah, so that's where it starts out, which is the other thing we're going to talk about, the carnival.
Sorry, I started going
No, it's
going
fine.
a little bit ahead.
It's fine.
But yeah, I guess we can go right into that.
Sure, we'll talk about both these things at the same time. But like the carnival is pretty cool. They go to Haley's Circus, which is the circus that the Flying Graysons are a part of. And they're performing right off the bat. As soon as the trapeze were going, I was like, I bet that's the Flying Graysons. And then bam, the Flying Graysons are there. So we actually get to meet a very young Grayson couple. Actually, it was a Grayson and a Lloyd, which was interesting. Very Romeo and Juliet kind of thing going on here, because we learned that the trapeze, the acrobats, have this long-standing family feud with the clown family, the Lloyds, over a horse that was stolen in World War I. What the fuck, people? Work that shit out.
Over it.
I know, right? Get over that shit. So the weirdest thing happens. The Graysons finish their show, and the clowns drive out, and they literally start this brawl in the middle of the ring, the circus ring, right, in front of the public. And I'm sorry, I get that they were trying to do something for the story, but I just, under no circumstances, think that would happen. There is no way in hell the carny folk would put their business out in front of outsiders like that. Yeah. They do have a code. They are professional. I mean, even the ringmaster, because what happens is there's a murder that ends up happening. The snake dancer gets killed. And the ringmaster basically says, well, the body is found. Like, Gordon uses the snake like a bloodhound, which was creepy and weird. He basically says, we take care of our own. We would have found out about who did it, and we would have taken care of it on our own.
And carny folk, because we all know carny folk well, they do everything behind the scenes.
How well do you know carny folk? What's going on?
Carny hands. No.
You got some wild dates you want to tell me about in your past?
Excuse me? What's the other thing that scares you?
Carnies.
What?
Circus folk. Nomads, Smell like cabbage. Small hands.
No, but, we all assume they're, it's like gypsies. They handle their own justice.
They do.
They do things behind the scene. And I understand, the writers want to introduce the Graysons. I think it would have been more interesting if they were at the circus. And maybe they did a, kind of like we're going to go behind the scenes and meet blah, blah, blah. And then a fight breaks out. And then I think they could have gotten involved. And
sure.
So I think the writers kind of got it a little wrong there, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, I suppose. I guess I know. I just didn't believe that would happen.
Neither did I. I thought it was just...
I was like, that's weird. The clowns wouldn't come out in the middle of a show and start literally beating up the
so that was really, out of character.
Yeah, they would have waited and gotten revenge later.
So I think the writers did kind of get it wrong, but I really enjoyed the rest.
Yeah. So, all of a sudden now, they find the murder. Now everyone in the carnival has to get arrested, and poor Harvey Bullock sees all these crazy carnies coming in, and he's like, what, is this a joke? This is a joke, right? And
why should he... it's Gotham. Anything goes, right?
Yeah. I loved how they did some of the interviews and the questioning that Gordon did. I'll use Bill to illustrate. So they basically showed Gordon's back, and he would be looking at the this is Gordon looking at the person he's interviewing, and the camera would move behind the back, and then when it came out the other side, it would be another character he was questioning, and then he would move behind the back and eclipse it and come out, and there was a third character he was questioning. So they never moved really. It just showed the passage of time of his interviews. It was very well done. I like that a lot. But I guess as the story goes on, he's trying to brush Lee off, and she won't have it. She wants to go with him, and she actually is a pretty good detective.
Oh, yeah. He's impressed.
Yeah, he really is impressed, and she's driven, and I think he's impressed and attracted to that, too, actually. So we might see them working a lot more closely together. A little bit like, Castle and Beckett. Where with Gordon being Beckett and I think Lee being Castle, who comes up with the inspirational zany solution of like, oh my god, I know what that is, it's Arkham Bridge, and they go to Arkham Bridge and they find the thing. But this fortune teller comes in and gives them a clue, who Gargamel, and basically says, what does he say? The touch of the devil is beneath the two sisters,
the two iron sisters,
the garden of the two sisters, or something
right.
like that. And so it ends up being this park below Arkham Bridge where they call the towers Mary, Betty, and something else, I forget. So they find this axe there. So the blind fortune teller comes in, Gargamel, and Gordon wants to interview him again, and because he has a theory. I think he knows who the killer is. And because of the fact that the blind fortune teller actually gave him the clue, he's going to charge him being an accessory. He basically brings in the snake charmers, the snake lady, snake charmer's son, who was very really upset and misses his mom and says he loved her so much. And this is the son of the snake lady. And it turns out that Gordon basically says, to Gargamel, that you are this kid's son, right? You're the father. Because apparently the snake lady, the snake charmer, was a hua. She was a hua that slept around the Connie with all the Connie folk. And she drank a lot and sort of slept around a lot and did a lot of drugs and apparently nagged her kid so much while doing all of that that he went postal on her. He went carny on her and killed her.
Right. And that's how Gordon jumps to that conclusion, because the kid is all just full of remorse and how much he loved her and how great she was. And she wasn't a great lady.
No, she's not a nice lady.
So that's how Gordon probably, I'm assuming,
you're a bad lady.
Figured out that, that she was a bad lady. A bad hua, as you would say.
And so he basically threatens them with having a paternity test. Takes about half an hour or so. Eventually the guy confirms it.
Uh-oh.
Hey, whoa, little tough territory action going on there. So he confirms it, says, yeah, no need to take the test. I am, in fact, the boy's father. And the boy's freaking out. He's like, Jerome is like, no, it's not true. My dad was a Swedish sailor or something, and he's dead. And he's like, no, I'm your father. And so all of a sudden, Jerome just flips a bit, and he's no longer the remorseful guy. He's laughing. He's got the Joker smile on his face. A perfect Joker smile, quite frankly.
Yeah, I thought the actor did a really good job.
Yeah.
It's the actor from Shameless.
Yep.
He
plays the gay son, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And one of the Gallaghers. And so I think he does a really good job. And he's a ginger, so he's perfect. He is.
Oh, she was a ginger too, the snake lady.
Mm-hmm.
He's a ginger son of a whore.
Gingers have no souls.
Yeah, yes! And this is why! No.
Gingers have souls!
Gingers have souls! Tired of it. Gingers have souls! So no, this ginger has no soul. He's a crazy, evil, maniacal killer, and you can really see the seeds of the Joker. We'll see what he goes through that sort of before Batman accidentally drops him in a vat in a few years.
So he's probably spending some time in juvie.
Yeah, juvie Arkham. Arkham juvie. There's a juvie wing in Arkham. He needs to learn the place at this point. So, good episode. I liked it in general. And we asked you to share us your thoughts about the last episode of Spyt-Takes, or if you had any comments on this episode that we might be able to read on this episode of Spyt-Takes. If you ever want to make a comment about the next episode of Gotham or Arrow or Flash that we might be covering, tweet us at #Spyt-Takes, and we will read your comment about that show on the episode we do about it here. So we had a really cool, couple of cool tweets from some folks at the hashtag. Let me see where they are here. Here we go. Antoine Woods said, Spytle, Fish is a genius. #Fish Mooney.
Yes.
Yes,
she
she
is.
is.
She's incredibly smart, and she's quick on her feet. She has amazing leadership skills, and she should be feared.
Yeah. She negotiated all of that and only lost one dude. And when everybody should have been shot.
And gained the respect of everybody, and upper management is probably now fearful of her.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe too fearful. Might take her out. Superhero Universe tweets us at Spytle. Completely epic with lots of lore to chew on. It's really getting good. And the decision to bring in the Joker, perfect.
I agree.
I do too. The actor was
concur.
perfect. I concur. I should have concurred. If you know what that movie is, what that quote's from, tweet us at Spyt-Takes as well. Maybe we'll give you something to give away. So, yeah, good stuff. He did a great job as the Joker. At least the Joker before he becomes the Joker. But you really see how that character could become the Clown Prince of Crime. Yeah. For sure. And I love the fact that they are... Look, one of the things I love about... let's look at Smallville back in the day. They would do, a whole season with, maybe one iconic person would show up, or maybe it was
here's Aquaman. He's got an aqua-colored hoodie.
Not even that. they sped it up at the end. More this year is Bizarro. He's dealing with Bizarro. This year it's Brainiac. This year it's Zod. Right? I like what they're doing on The Flash and Gotham right now, which is on the first season, we are going to introduce the Scarecrow, the Seeds of Bane. We're going to see the Penguin, the Riddler. Even if they haven't adopted those monikers yet, we are seeing these people. They are throwing everybody out there. So Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Batman himself, it's just all out there. Now we're getting the Red Hood next week. So
they're laying a really, really great foundation.
Yeah, but they're using existing bricks, right, to do it. They're not just making stuff up or one brick at a time over 5 years. So I really like how they're handling that and giving us all that lore to chew on and get excited for. They're doing it right on those two shows for sure.
Great show.
All right, so that's our episode of Spyt-Takes on The Blind Fortune Teller. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoy the show. Don't forget to either subscribe to us on YouTube and leave a like if you like the show, and leave us some comments. I love to see your comments there. Maybe Ellen will start answering some comments soon. I don't know, but I certainly do. And tweet us your thoughts about Spyt-Takes episodes or episodes that we're going to cover in the future at #Spyt-Takes. Until the next time, take care.
Next week.